tops due to bad weather and lack of deer sign. With nothing positively identified up on the tops and the low-lying cloud making it extremely difficult to glass across valleys and opposing faces, we descended back into the high country's belly, dropping the 1100 metres in elevation to where we knew we had seen plenty of deer. Our plan was to push even further than we had before, into adjacent catchments to that already hunted, with the hope of finding another stag before having to leave the bush and head back to Melbourne, then fly back to our respective home states. After a couple of really cold days and wet days and nights up the top here, without any deer, we're going to head down, back down a lot lower, back down about probably a 600 metre mark. The deer just don't seem to be up here. I don't know whether it's too early or it's too cold for them, but there's just nothing up here. So we figure the rationale is that they're going to be somewhere where they can get a bit of warmth and shelter out of this really shitty weather. It's due to snow today, so it's only going to get colder. So we reckon they'll be down lower. So we've come down off the top, right up the top of mountains today, just to get out of that weather, and we've set up camp down at about 600 metre elevation. I'm going to go for a walk right at the very foot of where it starts heading up the face. It's about 4 o'clock in the Arvo, so by 3. Just going to drop down off this little track here shortly and go and across a creek. There's a creek running down through here. Start walking along this, walking on the edge of this face. It goes up quite high. There's a big saddle in the middle. I'm going to check that out. So I've just had another shot at a stag. He was bigger than that last one, but I don't know. I think I've missed him. I thought the camera was recording on my bloody head and it wasn't. I can't believe it. It was a river. Wait a minute, so I saw him coming across from about 80 metres, maybe 60 metres away. And I couldn't get a clear shot of him at first. And then he walked between 2 trees. And he stopped for just a second. And then I took a shot. He was walking, Metal Mist was walking, and he stopped as soon as he heard the shot. I took another one out and missed again. So he was I was just down by that, just in the middle of this little clearing here. I've taken a shot at him through these trees. The camera wasn't bloody rolling, so I could have got it all on camera. I only bought 4 shells in with me, so I've used 2 of the 4 already. Holy shit. He's walked through here. Oh, he's gone this way. probably about 80 metres off the shoulder, and I've just missed him. Like, I can't see any blood. I've just clean missed him twice. He's up here somewhere. He's gone back up, I reckon. Beautiful big animal. I've scouted around here now for about half an hour. I can see the tracks, but I don't know if they're his or not. There's just sign everywhere in here. And it's fresh, like there's some big stag sign in here. It rained a few days ago, so this is after the rain, it's fresh. So I don't know what's his print where he's run away, or if it's something that's, you know, this morning or yesterday. Oh man. Oh, that was incredible. I can't believe I've missed it. Oh, at least to know that there's deer in here. We were worried about staying up high and there not being anything there, so we've come, you know, as I come right back down low. It seems to be paying off. They're coming down to get out of that weather. Well, they're staying down, they're not going up. Snow melt was only probably a month ago, month and a half ago. Given it's been a long weekend, everyone's cleared out yesterday, and we've dropped down today. It's probably they've probably settled down a bit. They're not so spooked. I don't know. That's my theory. I was in awe of seeing another stag in front of me at such close range, and I was devastated at missing it due to its size being similar or slightly larger than the one I had shot a few days earlier. After searching around for half an hour for any trace of hair or blood and trying to track footprints, it was clear I had clean missed him at 80 metres, for which I was kicking myself for, and I replayed the event over and over in my mind. I was in open ground. My only cover was a small sapling 3 metres to my right, and had I moved, he would have picked me up for sure. But I'd never know, and the stag moved on to live another day. And I reckon he must have been the luckiest stag in the valley this day. So I've just come across some real fresh sign. Like, super slimy. Like it's, yeah. Oh, that's today. This place is riddled with sign, eh? There's tracks everywhere. I've walked up the valley about another hour after I shot that, I had a shot of that stag. It's a bit hard to film and hunt at the same time, so I'm going to put the camera down. There's just too much going on in here. Check this out for prints. I've got about 2 Ks I've got to cover. Just under an hour. So, it's going to get dark real quick down here. So I'm just trying to get back as fast as I can. Kind of just make a beeline. For we campers. This is a real, I guess, test of body and mind. Climbing up through this and pushing through this thick stuff. So I've come up onto this
south face or get up out of the valley with the river. I was just sort of winding around too much, having to cross it too many times. So I've climbed up the face a bit, so I'll side around it, but it sort of comes and plateaus out a little bit up here, which is kind of good. So it makes a pretty good time getting back to camp. If I can find a trail up here, it'd be even better. And hopefully, there's one here. This should see me get back just on dark, I think. Got about another 1.2 k's to go, so if my GPS tells me right, tell you what, I'll be lost without that little Garmin inReach. It's been bloody brilliant. Not only for navigating and you know, studying sort of contours and where to go, but also keep in touch with my wife and my little boy, so it's been kind of handy for that. Find out what they've been doing. Probably a little bit more relaxing than what I've been doing. So I found the full drive track. So I'm only about 200 metres away now. So it's 20 past 11 on Wednesday night. Epic day today. We come down off the tops. Yeah, we dropped 1,000 metres in elevation today. Drove down. To see that stag today was just epic. He would have been probably 28, I would say. He's bigger than the one I've got here. Hopefully I can come across that stag again. Tomorrow's our last day. Good times. See you in the morning. So I was having a bit of a lazy morning this morning and just sitting around camp and with Don, and then we had a couple of shots go off. James has got a stag. Don't know what happened to Robbie's stag. It's just still down there somewhere in the bush with no holes in it yet. We're going to go help James drag this out. The other boys headed out from camp a little bit earlier than me this morning. I was a bit cold, I didn't want to get out. Called them up on the radio. James has shot a little stag up high here where he saw one last night. So we've all pretty much down tools and coming in to give him a hand to bring it out. Fortunately, there's a fairly old and disused track that we can get one of the four-wheel drives up, so it's only about a couple hundred metres to haul this thing out. You couldn't ask for any better, really. So early in the morning, it's about just on 6:30. Still got a fair bit of the day left to go. It's our last day. We've now secured plenty of meat for everyone. So you're not far off the track where he shot this thing. Here it is. Here's a stag. Wow. Nice looking stag there, mate. Tell me about it. Where were you when you found her?
I was just walking up the valley floor and saw him come trotting around the hillside up above me in the sunshine.
Yeah.
And got the rifle up, couldn't find him in the scope, and then finally managed to line him up, and right as I did, he saw me. Took a bolt for it and took a shot. So I took a bit of a tumble down the hill, got back on his feet and started running through the gully in front of me.
Yeah.
And managed to get an off quick second shot. And now we've got breakfast.
Breakfast, alright. Where'd you get him?
Got him through, I think, the lung and back out through his neck. And,
Oh, yeah?
on the second shot, not sure on the first, so we'll find out.
How do you feel?
Pretty happy.
I'd be pretty happy
Only,
too,
only
mate.
a little stag, but last day of the hunt, so I can't complain.
Yeah, she's a ripper, mate. Well done. So I've just taken all the meat back to camp and chucked it in the river to keep it cool. We've come back out again, so hopefully we can get Robbie into a stag today. I'm going to push through this flat. Robbie's gone up into the up onto a north face, and he's going to walk along it, and there's a couple of gullies he's going to push up, which is probably the best chance to get a stag at this time of the day. Although I'm heading over to the right of this valley system onto a south face, and I'm going to go back up into a saddle where we know they're coming over. We've seen them, so and that'll give him a best chance of getting something on a north face today, while the sun's up high. But when I shot that stag the other day, it was midday, and he was on a south face coming down a trail. So I'm hoping to get something coming down it. Okay, game time. I've just spooked it there. I was just walking along the edge of this creek to cross it, and I was looking down where I was walking to find somewhere to cross, and on the other side of the bank one's taken off. I can't see if it was a doe or a stag, but it headed up into where was planning on going anyway. Oh, man, this place is unbelievable. Alright, out there for a look across this river.
I was unsure whether it was a stag or a hind that I had spooked. The fringes of the river were thick with blackberry and ferns, which made my approach rather loud, and this certainly announced my presence. It was mid-morning, and this animal was still down low in the valley and hadn't yet progressed up onto a sunnier north face. This just shows that in this area at least, the deer can literally be anywhere, at any part or time of the day, and it pays to keep this always in the back of your mind. Realizing this, I kept pushing on up the valley.
This game trail leads up into a gully, which, looking at the GPS, is a saddle across the top of it. I figure they're using that to access the different catchments. So quiet in here. The chances of me flushing something out is going to be pretty high. There's nothing I can do about that.
The further I progressed up the gully that branched off 90 degrees to the main valley I was in, the bush started to thin out a little, but become a lot drier underfoot. After 1.5 kilometres of progressing up higher towards the saddle, I hadn't yet come across anything on the trail I was on, and decided to check in with Robbie over the two-way radio and let him know of my change of plan.
Yeah, right. I'll see you over the other side there somewhere. It'll take me a fair while to get there because I'm only going super slow. So I'm just going to, I was talking to Robbie, he's way over the other side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cross over this drop down, if I can somewhere, climb up the other side and then try and sort of side around the ridge line as it goes up and then drop down into this other gully with another saddle at the top. They're coming from one side, coming up over these saddles and using them as thoroughfares. So there's been a really pronounced game trail coming up this one, so that we know I can't see it being any different on the other side, but there's nothing coming down. I haven't seen anything up here. I've come a fair way up in elevation from the valley floor, so maybe we'll try the next one over.
Once I crossed the bottom of the gully and made it up the other side, the bush thickened back up again, and taller, meaning I found myself having to push through scrub that was about head height. This was noisy, it was uncomfortable, and I have no doubt that any deer that were in the area would have heard me for miles. I pushed on, however, hoping that I could find another trail leading back over from the adjacent catchment and through the saddle leading down to my position, to which, if there was one, I would then decide to follow either further up or descend back down towards the main valley floor below.
Wombat hole. I feel like a bit of a wombat running around here. Haven't heard a deer, seen a deer, and bugger all sign. So we're gonna just wait for about an hour, wait till the sun gets a bit lower in the sky, and then start getting on the move again. So time for a bit of shut eye. Didn't get a lot last night. You can see behind me, I've just come way up from the floor of the valley. I'm on a north face. They're going to be coming down this way to get down to the valley floor. That's what we've been seeing over the last week or so since we've been in there. So I'm hoping to catch something coming down. The wind's blowing the right way, so I'm going to try and find a trail here that leads up. I'm just going to walk that trail. That is fresh as. That's today.
After meeting up again with Robbie, we both split up on either sides of the valley and arranged a meeting point about 2 kilometres downstream. Once we got there, it was at this point, and after many hours and kilometres travelled throughout the day, we decided to walk onto another disused four-wheel drive track and head back to camp. Little did we know that we were in for a last surprise to end our trip on a high note.
We're just walking back and come across 3 does. Hopefully it's old I had one of them right in my crosshairs. Broadside. Could have easily taken a shot, but we're not chasing does. It was about 80 to 100 metres away. Would have been a nice, good shot. But we've got enough meat.
We had stumbled across a whole family of deer, 5 in total, 4 mature hinds and 1 young hind. We went unnoticed for quite some time, which allowed us both to get our rifle scopes on them and track them through the bush, which was an awesome sight. We were left wondering that the stag that James shot earlier in that day, was he part of this group, as we were in a similar area. This event was a great way to end our trip, as observing these animals in their natural state and natural environment is truly something to behold. Once back in Melbourne, we spent the entire day boning out all our meat, mincing and vacuum packing it, ready to fly back to Perth and to Queensland. Although I was a seasoned hunter, this was my first ever sambar hunting trip that I'd ever done. We had planned this trip 6 months out, and to get a stag of this proportion as my very first sambar was an incredible experience, and one which I consider myself extremely fortunate to be able to achieve. I set out with the goal of pushing my physical and psychological boundaries further than any point I had before. I set out to experience a part of this country that I'd never been into, and I set out to successfully hunt my first sambar stag. I achieved all of these goals and managed to share these with a great bunch of people. This was more than just a hunting trip. It was a test of resilience and patience, with moments of sheer excitement that completely engulfed me. To quote Ursula K. Le Guin, "It is good to have an end to journey toward, but it is the journey that matters in the end."